Okay, so here's a new skill for you. You've already been able to do some work in Revit. You've looked at an existing plan and you've done some work on a drainage plan, and you've even done some work on a stormwater pollution prevention plan. So I've given you those to start with this time. This time there's two different things. There's preserve vegetation. You're going to put a fence along this 18-foot topo line, and you're going to do something else called exit and entry control, and that number is TC2. So if you say I want a TC2, they'll go look that up in their Caltrans specification and know exactly what to put there. So I've done that for you. This is a typical stormwater pollution prevention plan. Remember, that is how we protect our waterways from dirt, debris, pollution, garbage, litter that might flow down from these upper elevations down into this stream. Okay, so especially during construction, you're going to put some sort of a fence along there to protect this area. Okay, so let's see another thing. These are some views, and as designers and architects and civil engineers, you should know that there are a ton of different views that different designers need to see, and to be able to create those views is an important skill. So I'm going to show you one of them just to get you started. So here we are in Revit. I'm in my stormwater pollution prevention plan. I've double-clicked that one, and I'm in my file that says add section view, and I'm going to add a view. So if you look across these top bars, you'll find one called view, and that's probably a good idea to go there. So we'll go to view, and there's all these different types to create, and we're going to create one called a section view, and a section view cuts through the model and lets you see it like it's been cut. So that's what we're going to do. Some people call them cut views, section views, partial elevation views. We're going to go by the terms that Revit uses called section views. So find the thing that looks like it's got a little arrow. And I don't really care where you put it, but a very common one would be diagonal right through this property so that you can see the high points, the two main points over here, and the stream. Some people would cut it right through this tall part. So let me just do that. I'm going to start up here somewhere, left click, drag my little view arrow down, and I'll go through that high point because I think that that'll be of interest to some engineer and designer. And then I left click again, and this big box shows up, and I don't want to see a lot, so I hold my left mouse down on the little arrow, and I'm holding it down, and I move it till it's close by the line. So now I'm going to see this property looking in this direction. So I'm going to stand over here and look at the property this way. So I can double click on that, or I can find on my nav bar that it's actually put that in for me under sections. Double click on the section, and there it is. And it doesn't look like much right now, so we have to make it look good. This red thing doesn't belong there. That's just something that helped me make the file. So I'm going to hover on the red thing, right click, and hide it in view. And I'll do the element. And same with this box. I don't need to see that box. Right click, hide in view element, and I don't need to see this in this case. Right click, hide in view element. So that's a section view. That's what the ground looks like as I'm seeing it sideways. So now I've got to make it look like a good industry standard view. So there are some visibility and graphics that I need to play with. So if I hover over it, and you see how it sort of highlights a little bit, left click, right click, override graphics. And I just want to do this one element. And all these things come up. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, first I'm going to pick the projection lines. That's the line, those are the lines I'm seeing right now. And I want them to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to pick the color and make it black. Okay. And I want it to be a little bit thicker. 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. I'm going to go with 9 and I'll click apply. And you can see it's a little bit darker now. The other one is the cut patterns. This has no cut pattern right now. So I'm going to click these 3 little dots and I'm going to move my selector bar down until I see earth. Earth. Okay, apply. There we go. Now I have, that's what engineers want to see. That's very much how it would look. Now we'll put some annotations on it to make it look good. So here's an annotation. Well, one thing is it's nice to know, remember here's that curved leader, that this is the stream bed. So I've got my caps locks on stream bed. I just click over here. Let me go back to annotations again. And another one is the slope. How steep is this? So people want to kind of know. So I get down near the surface, left click, come down near this surface, and kind of pull it up. That's kind of in a funny spot. I might move that a little bit and move that arrow so that it's not quite so sticking out so far. And I'll do another spot slope at the top because I know there's no slope up there. Now I've got a very typical drawing. There's a few things. Remember, we're always talking about elevations. So let's take a look at the elevation of the stream bed and the elevation. I get them kind of the same. That looks pretty good. And then click over here, and there I go. I've got it. So that's a very typical view. There's one other thing I'd like you to do, and that's back on the stormwater pollution prevention plan, is often people put images in these to help them remember what it is. What is an SS2 preserved vegetation fence? So I've given you some pictures that you can download, and I'm going to insert those pictures. And we do it, it's called an import. Import and image. And I've already downloaded those, so I have to just go find it now. I'm going to find out where I downloaded those. Downloads. SS2, there it is, I found it. So I can put that in here, and it comes in kind of big. It's like, you'll see, it's got a big X when it comes in. There it is, it's big. So I need to grab a little corner and squeeze it down to size, hover over it, left click, and bring it in so that it's kind of a nice looking image right below the text. And I would do the same thing with my TC2. I gave you an image for that, so you can download the image and find your TC2. I'll just put it anywhere. Get it down to a normal size. That's left click and hold it down while I resize it. Let go. Hover over it. My little move bar comes up and I can put it right there. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. There. Okay, now I have really nice file coming along. I've got my existing, and I can hide those later on, but I like to see them right now. Got my drainage, I've got my stormwater pollution prevention plan. I've got a 3D image, and I have a section view. I'm starting to build a real construction set, and all we've done so far is site work. We're going to get a lot more out of this as we move through the class, as you start learning about the materials. Okay? There's one other thing that we'll do later on, and that's where we'll start putting buildings on here and start talking about these materials and what we need for the building pad and things like that. But this is good for right now. So this is, you'll save your file, save as, and remember, it's a project, and it's going to have your initials at the end. And I don't want a whole bunch of numbers on it. There we go. ROS, there we go. Save. And I've already done this once, so I'm going to say yes, replace it. There we go. That is your specification drawings, create views.